It's the first day of Grotmas, and we're opening up a nice stinky package from Pop Nurgle himself. It's the Flyblown Host, a detachment all about Death Guard infantry. Welcome to the Grotmas Detachment Show, where each and every day from December 1st to the 24th, Games Workshop releases a new detachment for every army in Warhammer 40k. It's an exciting time, and there's a lot to talk about. So let's break it down for you and give you an easy to understand first look at these detachments. Happy Grotmas, everybody! Alright folks, let's dig into this tasty new detachment. This is going to be all about infantry, in particular ones that are outside of transports. I do think it is particularly geared towards Plague Marines rather than Death Shroud, but we'll talk about that soon. The army rule is Verminous Haze. This grants all your Death Guard infantry that are not in a transport the Scout 5-inch rule and Stealth. That's going to, of course, allow them to deliver themselves into combat sooner and into the midfield, and grant -1 to be hit in ranged. We have a number of very interesting enhancements that are pretty cheap each, starting off with the Droning Chorus at 15 points. This is going to give range weapons in the Bears unit the Assault keyword. This of course helps make up for the lack of transports potentially, as well as giving some extra maneuverability on those infantry units. Next up we have the Insectile Murmuration. This is a 20-point enhancement. This follows the trend of buffing the entire Bearers unit, in this case granting them reroll wound rolls of 1 when they target a unit in contagion range. It's cute, 20 points is a bit much, but I think it's not a bad thing to have. Next up we have Rejuvenating Swarm at 10 points. This one's very interesting as it allows the infantry model to heal all wound that they've suffered at the end of each phase, effectively turning them into a baby Beast of Nurgle. Very, very fun one here. Finally, we have the Plague Veil at 25 points. This grants the Bearers unit an 18-inch lone op as long as they're standing on an objective that they control. It's another very tasty option for those backfield objectives. So all in all, 4 very fun and relatively cheap detachment enhancements. I'm curious to see if they see play. While the enhancements are pretty much all fantastic, I think the stratagems are a little bit more situational, starting off with the Nauseating Paroxysm. This is a 1 CP stratagem that you trigger at the start of the fight phase. You pick an enemy unit within engagement range, and they take a battle shock test at -1. Meh. I'm sure you've been seeing lots of sweet deals around the interwebs, so let me make a proposition for you. If you buy a set of Titan's Terrain from our web store until December 3rd, you'll receive a massive 30% discount on any of our terrain sets and a 50% discount on our dice.
But that's heresy!
That's right, General Angry Space Marine-ish guy, it's heresy, but we don't care. We also have the Vermin Cloud at 1 CP. This grants the unit a 6-inch pylon and consolidation for their infantry unit. Again, somewhat situational, but always a good thing to have extra movement when you need it. Eye of the Swarm is a 1 CP stratagem that grants the infantry unit's non-blast weapons pistol. This is one of those reasons where I think we are really gearing towards Plague Marines, as the Death Shroud have fantastic pistol flamethrowers already. I suppose you could put it on Blight Terminators, but I really like this on Plague Marines. Droning Horror is another 1 CP stratagem that allows the infantry unit in shooting to reroll hit rolls of 1 or full hit rerolls if they're within half range of their target. This is a fantastic upgrade, and I think you're going to be spending these CP a ton. Enervating Onslaught is a 1 CP strat that does mortal wound impacts on a 5+ after you charge. It only uses models in engagement range, so keep that in mind, but it's also a +1 to this roll if you're using Poxwalkers, and it is thankfully capped at 6 mortal wounds. I think it's a fantastic stratagem that's going to give you a reason to take Poxwalkers over cultists, and honestly it's not bad on big squads of Plague Marines either. Finally, we have Mephitic Invigoration for 1 CP. This grants an infantry unit, once again, when they're being shot at within 6 inches of a Blight Hauler, basically the new transhuman rule. This is -1 to be wounded if the strength of the weapon is higher than their toughness. Overall, we have a few situational stratagems, we have some pretty fantastic enhancements, and just a generically strong army rule. I'm very excited about this new detachment for the Death Guard. Let us know, of course, in the comments below what you think, what you're most excited for, and what do you think is going to come out tomorrow.